I have already installed Blender, it is here, and I have installed SketchUp 24, SketchUp. Let us first turn on SketchUp. It is very new. I still, for 8 hours, you have also all the properties of SketchUp Pro. So you will see, now I go start using SketchUp, that this is basically SketchUp Pro, but the export in Collada format, it should work also with normal SketchUp. This means tomorrow, for example, if I try it. It is today, it is a Tuesday, so on Friday when we have the test, our workshop, then we shall be together able to confirm this, I hope. Let us now open a SketchUp file. Open. We go to our folder where we have our project, EMICVL. This is here, here, so, and so, and so. The assets, I put it. This is Olympus microscope that we found on the Google SketchUp portal for free during the last session when we had. This was tutorial 6. So that's the microscope. Let us export it now. Export 3D model. It is, as you see, possible a lot of files. We can even export in variable file, object file. Object file is export just models, not animation, and it is very universal. It is so the final tool. If you can't do it otherwise, then through the object export it goes almost for sure. Object file format keeps also the textures, pictures, and so on that are together with the model. Then we have the FBX file, which is better than object, of course, because it supports also the animation. The Collada file, which we shall use, because this one will stay also when this becomes no more the SketchUp Pro version. And we have AutoCAD and 3ds. These are also important. So if you have SketchUp Pro, then you have practically all the formats you would need to export. Let us export in with Collada. Export. We can now leave the project, and this is our EMICVL project folder. Here is Olympus microscope. It should already be, I think, here. Let's have a look. SKP, this is that one. No, but I don't see the IE. Let's have a look once again. Where did we export it? Import. Sorry, this was, I should not import but open it. File open. It is the SketchUp microscope, and now let us export. Export 3D model. Oh, it was in my documents. Okay. No, but now as I'm doing it once again, let us export it to the right. Because as I was making the dry run for this tutorial, it did export in the same folder as I opened. So that's why I was surprised. Let's go computer. EMICVL. Test assets and export. So now we have the Collada die format in the same folder as it is the default folder for Unity to get its models. And now let's have a look what it happens. Let's start the Unity. As you see, surprise, surprise, we already here have the microscope, which is in the Collada format. This means that Unity nicely imports also Collada. In the previous versions, this was not the case. You should go through FBX and so on. So the model is 11. This is okay. There is no animation, and so we can leave the rig type of generic. Otherwise, if here were an animation, we should put it to set it to legacy. And the animation, there is no animation anyway. You just drag this on the hierarchy window, and we have the microscope. You see, it's a nice model of the microscope. We can expand this hierarchy, and you see there are several groups of the microscope. Let us choose some group just to see a little more. I press the button frame. This is a button on this side, yes. And if we want to give it another material, we just drag this color to this group, and it becomes of that color, or this could also be the picture. If I use the picture, I think it's this one. Yes, now we have the picture of mitochondrion, but it's not good because the texture is not so simple if you would like to have a painting. This is the theme for some other tutorial. So you see, we have very nicely imported our microscope into Unity. Let's try if we can give the color to the whole microscope. No, it's not so simple. It is just a part. But this is normally also not the case, that you paint in this way the whole. It is much better technique and practice that you use objects which go together, then you group them, and then you give them the materials they deserve to have. I would just like to point out here, you see this this button is inverted. One should invert the normals, as the 3D modelers say. It should be just the opposite. The outside should be opaque and the inside should be transparent. Now it's just the opposite. But this button looks good. These are such issues that probably happen if you import models, but it is not difficult to change with any program for 3D modeling. So this was about importing. You can, as you see, you can import directly the 3D models in the Collada format into the Unity. Now I shall go also through Blender so that you see how, if you for some reason you need to export an FBX format into Unity. Let us close Unity now. We don't need to save this. We open Blender. There is a box that appears by default on Blender. If you are just importing and exporting, you can leave this box as it is. I shall show you later how it will look in Unity. Let us import here. Collada, it is the default import, and we should find our project folder. This is on I think it is here. Yes, I was lucky. This is our project, assets, and here is our Collada microscope. It is here inside the box, so to say. Now let's just export the whole stuff. File export, and we export it. We can also export in 3ds if you like, and what is important for us is FBX now. FBX, we go to the same folder where we were, and assets, and we just call it microscope. Here. Microscope. So, and export FBX on the right side. That's it. We can close Blender, save changes, yes, okay. So now let's enter the Unity once again. It is always good that you exit Unity when you shift the files like this. If you export it, the FBX or the Collada file, to some other folder than the assets folder of the current project you use in Unity, then as I showed in previous tutorials, you just move it here. It should always be in the assets folder, but in the assets folder you can make other folders as much as you like. Let's, for example, create a new folder and name it microscope. And we put our microscope files inside. I think it's all about microscope. So now let's start Unity. In the assets we have the microscope folder. Oh, there is, I forgot obviously, but I can do it also. I can put this is the microscope I just exported from Blender. I put it in the microscope folder. This would not be necessary, but just to show it is possible and to keep things nicely in order. Let us look at it. At first, let's inspect the model. It's very small. Let's make the scale to 11. I use 11 because it's easier to press the one button 2 times than 1, 0. So, and then apply settings. And we just drag it into the hierarchy window. It is a box because it was a box, this cube, it is from Blender. We just deleted that cube. And now we have the microscope. Let's frame it so that we see it, and you see it is again our microscope that we brought it through Blender and imported it as FBX file. The names are different here. There is a lot of groups, and I chose this group. We can again look it in more detail. This is the, as we say, the revolver of the microscope. I don't know if it is in your language the same. Yes, and we can then assets, we can put it another color if you like, just to see it works. Yes, it works. So that's it. So it goes the import. Thank you very much.